Hey everyone, Melanie here, sharing a process video with you for Bramble Fox using the November Fox Box Plus. I will be using the perspectives and the stencil that you see there, which I'm in love with. I'm going to be using the Count Your Blessings. It's beautiful with like a gold sheen to it. I'm also going to be using Vicki Boutin's Print Shop, and we're going to be doing photos of my husband and my grandbaby doing selfies at the zoo. I'm going to start with the Fox Cut Stencil number 50 that you see there that comes in the Fox Box Plus. And I'm going to use Faded Jeans, Uncharted Mariner, and Peeled Paint. I'm using just a little bit of tape to help hold my stencil down. The first color is the lightest color, which is the Faded Jeans. And I'm just going to haphazardly do it. I don't want it in a really neat row where the edges are kind of messy. I'm just going to move my stencil down a little bit and line it up again. It's not going to be perfect because you're going to put pictures over it and it doesn't matter. You see, I'm having a little trouble there. And as again, I said it didn't have to be perfect, but I'm fiddling with it. So again, just some more going down the page with Fox Cut Stencil 50, and that one's going to be Faded Jeans. And then we're going to move over to the next row, and we're going to change to the beautiful new Uncharted Mariner, which is just a little bit darker. And after I've done this and went back and looked at it, you really can't tell the difference between the two colors, but you can here. So again, we're just going to take some of that color, and don't go to the edge of your stencil, because you see how there's this straight line like the box of the stencil. Don't go all the way to the end because you don't want that straight line. You want it to be a little bit messy. And then lastly, we are going to go to the peeled paint. And I really don't clean my stencil, so if it overlaps on the blue a little bit, I'm fine. It doesn't bother me. So the peel paint was just a good color that matched some of the papers in the Vicki Boutin Print Shop. These stencils, when you're finished using your Distress Oxides or whatever medium you're using on them, you can just go run them under some warm water and they rinse off really well. If you're using anything like a texture paste or anything, rinse it sooner than later because you don't want it to dry in the crevices of the stencil and mess it up. So now I'm going to take some, I'm just going to kind of run a little bit of the blue around the edge because that line was a little too straight for me. So I wanted a little messier look in there. So I'm going to go in and add a few little just wonky spots, if you will, to it. And then that'll finish up the stenciling. Now I'm just squirting it with a little bit of water because you know with the oxides, with the Distress Oxides, this does release the color. Here I'm taking some Dylusions White Linen spray and I'm just flicking it on there with the end of the applicator. That's just to give it some more texture and dimension in there. And then in a second we're going to take water and add to that to make it drain and just give it more of a milky finish, like more of a model. So I'm just spraying some water on it with my Distress sprayer bottle, and I'm going to hold the paper up and just let it kind of run. And that way it's still giving it more of a textured, messy look. I'm going to roll the paper towels over it. If you have a dryer, you can hit it with the heat dryer, your heat gun, but rolling the paper towels just lifts that color up. Now I'm going to take some of the Gold Sheer Shimmer Spray, and it's by Imagine Crafts, and I'm just going to use my paintbrush and flick that all over to give it some of the little gold splatters in there. I think gold splatters can go on anything at all. So we'll be finishing up doing that. Got kind of heavy with the gold splatters, but again, gold splatters are beautiful. And then I just hit it with the heat gun while you weren't looking. I've cut out a piece of the Vicki Boutin vellum paper that are those gold circles that say this here and love this. And then I'm just cutting out some of the cardstock circles that match. I cut 3 circles out and I end up using just one, the this is here. And I mounted the cardstock paper behind the vellum circle just so you could see the words better. I'm going to cut out some of these tags. This is in the paper pad. I'm going to cut out some of the tags that my pictures are going to be mounted on. So I'm going to cut them out, trim them, distress them, and get them ready to go. There, I wanted some solid ones, so I just kind of held the one that was already designed or pre-cut out to cut my other ones. Just a little messy cut there. And then I'm going to use my We Are Memory Keepers in a minute to poke holes in them. And I use the 1/4 inch one here. I'm just using the edge distresser. I kind of think everything needs to be distressed. Most everything. I'd say probably about 95% of the time, whatever I'm doing is going to be distressed. Now I'm just making sure that my cute little pictures of my grandbaby and my hubby fit on there. Now I'm tearing a piece of the small paper pad that just has some white type script on it, and I just really liked it to offset the stenciling from where the pictures are going to be. I'm gluing the pictures onto the tags, and then in a minute we're going to come through with some foam tape and pop the tags up. I do go through and punch the holes, and then I use my reinforcer punch, and I put the little white reinforcer over the holes because I'm going to run just some blue cord through it before we're done. So here's the foam tape. Just going to line them up on there, and I really like how that font, that typed font, sets it off. This is the beautiful Count Your Blessings that is in the Foxbox Plus, and like I said, it has the prettiest gold sheen or shimmer to it. I put this here up to the top left. I'm taking some of the stamps that you can see there that are with the Vicki Boutin Print Shop, and I'm just going to stamp randomly a couple of the different ones. After I start stamping, I realized that there was a circle stamp, there you go, that outlines it, and so I had to go back and put the circles around the stamps I did, and then I'll go back and stamp inside some of them. So I just used some of the random circles just because there were so many straight lines with the paper going down and the stencil going down. I'm going to pop dot foam tape up this here, and then I'm just going to use wet glue to put the Count Your Blessings down. Remember that the perspective sometimes have like a film over them, a protective film, so you want to always peel that off, and always use wet glue. Pulling out some of the tabs out of the print shop. I'm just going to stick one under the paper, and we're going to layer some things on it. Then I just start layering some embellishments, and it takes me a minute to decide what I want stuck under here. I just couldn't get the leaves how I wanted them, and I finally get them. I cut some of the leaves in half, do some trimming on some of them just to get, I love the leaves in these ephemera packs, but some of them are just so huge. So, and I want to make sure that title is really down well after I put the leaves down. And wet glue has really been my go-to lately. So we're going to just start laying some more up at the top. I cut one of the flowers in half because some of these flowers are big. So I cut it in half so I'm not wasting it and it fits better. And that little leaf piece you see there was one I had cut out to put on the other end, so it was missing the middle pieces, so I just fussy cut some of those. I'm going to add that little camera. Struggle with where it's going to go. I finally get it there. And then we're going to pull out some of the words. I'm going to add, it says full heart on top of that little tag at the bottom. I'm going to add a gold puffy heart up at the top. I'm going to add in these are just clusters. I'm just making clusters. That says we had fun. And I'm adding a flower, and then there's going to be a little green circle that kind of matches the peeled paint with a gold accent on it. I'm going to put that there. And then that's where I said I was going to finish off those leaves up there that I kind of pulled them out. I'm trying to want to stick that little gold piece somewhere, but I don't think I ever get it anywhere. Here I am, we're almost done. I'm cutting out just some little scoops or whatever you want to call it out of the left and right side. I do off camera go back and sew. You'll see it in the final. I go back and sew around where that paper goes, but it was just so white, and I loved that blue floral. And you know what? It's okay to put floral on boys' pages. So I'm adding that there, and we're just about done. I'm going to scratch that up with my finger. And I try to put that tag somewhere and it doesn't work. And then I'm going to add in, I think, a few little gold hearts. And then we are going to be the end of this. So there's my final layout. Again, it's the November Foxbox with the Count Your Blessings. Beautiful shimmery gold. And it's the Foxbox Stencil 50 Fox Cut. And I use Distress Oxides. Please be sure and check out the store. Follow all of us on Instagram and YouTube, and have a great day.